In this video, I'm rolling with George again. This is our 8th round on the channel, but we've probably had 100 off the channel. So I'm just stretching out here, trying to weird out George. No, I'm just kidding. Just doing my stretch. I hadn't gotten a chance to warm up yet. So as you could see, I could take my time with that stretch, or I could blow through it a little quicker. So here I'm starting on my feet. As you could see, when George had my hands, he wasn't engaging his legs. When I grab somebody's hands, my legs go right to your hip, right to the de la riva, right to the butterfly. So when you engage the hands, the grip fighting, make sure you bring your legs in. That's what you're trying to do. So there, as you could see, I ran around to one side and he gave an overreaction. And then I ran to the other, which was under-defended, and I was able to just shuck his knee and shoot my knee to his hip, which I've done many times in my videos. It's a great way to pass the guard. It often catches people by surprise. I put a little extra step into it as far as speed goes. But it's more about precise stepping. So you do that outside step to get around the leg, and then you shoot your knee to the hip. So here I'm in mount. George and I talk a bit when we roll. Not all the time, but sometimes. And I made the mistake of forgetting to turn on the microphone. So we can't hear our banter. But I have videos of George when he first started as a white belt. I'm saying maybe one of his first rolls. And I'll put that in the description. And you could see how far he's come. Because in the early rolls, I could just submit him with no effort in 10 seconds. So now he understands some counters, some positioning. So here, what am I doing? I'm trying to get behind his arm or on his back. It doesn't even matter to me. See, I'm like hanging off the side, but I'm trying to keep his left arm there with my body. And many times, I'm just experimenting. I'm seeing how little effort does it take to keep his arm there. Oh, what if I pull my hips back a little? Oh, finally, here's the point where he might get out, or etc., So here I'm climbing my thighs up his body, and I'm setting up a weird choke from the side. So whenever you get somebody in this position, you want to keep climbing your legs, even if you don't know where you're going with it. Because once you climb your legs up his body, it makes life very hard for him, as you could see. Easy for me, hard for him. Now, he finally was able to get his arm out and get my arm off his head, but he's breathing with his mouth open. So there's a price you pay for movements. That's why I don't think it's like chess. Chess, you don't pay a price for your movement. In jiu-jitsu, it costs money to move, so to speak. It costs currency in your wind. So here we're reconnecting. I don't have a guard here because he's not controlling one of my legs with two hands, and I'm not worried. So there I'm thinking about the de la riva and right to the tripod sweep when he steps back to avoid it. And I've done that a million times. When I first used to do the tripod sweep, I would do the sweep and I would forget to come up. So I would sweep the guy and I'd still be laying there on my back. I don't know if I forgot or if I was lazy or I didn't know what was going on. So here he's trying to drag my arm across, but again, his left leg is just floating there. It's not helping him. So a major body part with a ton of muscle isn't engaged. Because even if you use 5% of the muscle of the output your legs have to offer, it's very powerful. So sometimes I just go into like a statue mode where I'm just going to fend off all the attacks while catching my breath. And here, like, it doesn't take a lot of effort for me to lean on him like this. I'm not running around. I'm not doing a cartwheel. I'm just leaning on him. I'm trying to get his legs to the side with my body. And he knows that. So when he brings his legs back towards his right, I stuck my knee in there. That was a good move by George. He should have came up. It would have been a sweep. So everything I do isn't just done to win. It's sometimes done to wear out my partner. Because I know if I wear him out, sometimes I roll with a guy, he goes crazy, and then the last minute, he's just done. And at that point, I could just literally walk around their guard 9 times out of 10. It does take a certain amount of athleticism to employ jiu-jitsu. You can't just be a skeleton. It doesn't need as high a level as people think. You know, I've been to classes where, you know, the warm-up, by the end of the warm-up, it takes a half an hour. I mean, now we're doing jiu-jitsu. I'm tired. You know, I'm not in it for the CrossFit aspect. And then I noticed a lot of the students, all their movements were based on that athleticism that they thought they needed from the warm-up. I went with this blue belt. I was a purple belt, and I went with this Brazilian blue belt. I mean, it was like the finals at Abu Dhabi. Low technique level, high athletic level. And then I was already tired from the warm-ups. So here, as you can see, I'm being relentless. I'm trying to staple his leg. I'm on my knee. Now, if I wanted to, I could stand up, pass his guard in 2 seconds, you know, but I want to experiment. And as many of you know that watch the channel, I'm experimenting with this stapling of the leg guard pass. Because if I could get my knee in there deep enough, I could slide over the mount. I can slide by. So when the guy's on bottom, your partner's on bottom, you want to make them work. And the best way is to be relentless. So here I'm threatening an ankle lock, but not really. I just wanted to make him think about it. I wanted to distract him. Here I'm sitting on one of his hooks. He knows that, so he makes space. And now he tried to get up, but I pinched my knees together. So we're 8 minutes in. George is laughing. You know, he's a little heavier than me. He's probably, 15 years younger than me. I think he's in his early 30s. So it could be more than that. He's a generation below me, so to speak. To me, a generation is about 15 years, 15 to 20 years. If somebody's 15 to 20 years older than you, they're the next generation. So again, everything I'm doing is using very little effort, whereas George is retreating, he's squirming, he's using everything he can to keep me off. So here he's pulling the top of my head, he should be pushing. You don't want to pull somebody into your guard. It doesn't help you. I'm not even fighting it. I'm just trying to climb over his legs, which is starting to happen there. See, very slowly, I get my thigh in front of his thigh. Once my hamstring's on the front of his thigh, I'm definitely going to pass. So now my right knee is stapled to his hip, and that makes him unable to get a real guard back. I mean, even though I'm in a half guard or a quarter guard, it's a bad position for my partner. Also, if this was MMA, I could start punching him in the face with my left hand. So there I'm able to jump across to mount, which I spoke about already in this video. If I could get my knee on if I could get knee on belly, I can get mount. So here, as you can see, I'm trying to push his left arm across his body and then bring my body behind it, which I did. And then I gift wrapped him. and I sat down behind him. That puts me essentially in the on his back, or he's in the spider web, which he's in now. Now I'm going to go up with his wrist and to the side, and it was almost like an Americana armbar, and that finished it. So I'm narrating this in anticipation of today's open mat. I enjoy Wednesday open mat. It's no gi, and it's, you know, it's loose. We pretty much do whatever we want. Where on Saturday open mat, there's rounds, set rounds, and you have to stick with that, you know. This is more freestyle. So here I have my right hook under his leg, so I know right there he can't pass my guard. He has to shuck my right leg. And when he does that, I could turn to my left leg. But here I just shin sweep him. See, I scooped out his leg, and I pushed over with my knee or my shin. If I could get my shin on a right angle with the inside of my partner's thigh, the shin sweep is always there. And also I controlled the foot so he couldn't step back. So here I pass the same way that I've been trying to, this time a little easier. I think he might be getting tired. So I have my right hand near his hip so he can't bring his legs back in. And now I'm in north-south. Again, I'm just giving him something to tire him. So now he's holding on to my back. That's definitely... The only thing that prevents is... It prevents me from reining up and punching him, but he could never get out from there. So in a regular jiu-jitsu match, you never want to hold someone down on top of you, in my opinion. So again, my knee's at his waist, preventing a re-guard. It prevents him from going on his to turtle also, while turtling that direction. So he's using his legs. He's trying to swing and gain momentum. But what he should do is be hip escape and push my knee with both hands. I think he might have done almost that just now, but I'm also controlling one of his hands. So now I'm in north-south, and where am I? I'm in the usual back position, looking for the gift wrap, picking him up. Now I'm going to say something, George, if you're listening. You're susceptible to the gift wrap. You just leave your hand in a place that makes it easy to grab and pull around your neck. So there I just got him with a weird arm triangle choke from like a scarf position. I don't know. What's great about being a principle-based learner is it takes more time in the beginning to become proficient, but once everything sinks in, you could become somebody that invents things more. Not to say that no one's ever done that, but when I stumble upon moves many times, it's an on-the-spot invention by me. Again, it's been done before, but I'm using all the different jiu-jitsu principles to lead me there. So here I let George start in side control, it looks like. This I advise, if you're having a good round against somebody and you're feeling very confident, like they really can't affect you, it's always good to start from side control. And another thing, too, if you're injured, I notice like I have a rib injury I nurse. You know, if the guy's jumping all over me and running around, it's more strain on my rib. But as you could see, if I just let him start in side control and escape, I use that escape all the time, how I came out the side of his arm. And there I was able to sweep him. As you can see, I point my knee up and then I cut because his right leg gave me that angle. See, I don't want to fight the leg. I want to go around it. And that's exactly what I did. So as you could see, I'm already setting up the darce. I had my left hand laced through. I'm going to put that in slow motion. It was pretty fast. See, as I'm passing, I already have my left arm under his right arm and around his neck. Then as soon as I'm able to clear the hand, I can make my hands connect in the back, which gives me the darce. So it's always fun rolling with George. He definitely has a game similar to mine. When I watch him roll, I see it. But thank you for watching. If you find value in my content and you want to help support the channel, there's an X-Martial link in the description. If you use Jits over 50, you get 15% off, or you could buy me a coffee. Thank you for watching.